Okay, so there are 5 ways to be paid in doTERRA. The very first way to get paid is called the Fast Start Bonus. And this is a way of doTERRA realized that most people get into a network marketing company, they stop because they don't make any money and they get discouraged. So doTERRA created this plan so that people would get excited early on, get an extra accelerated commission so that they would stay in the company. So what happens is if you enroll somebody, I'll use the same example of names. Let's say you enroll Bob, Jeff, and Bob's first 60 days in the company, anything Bob orders, you would get paid 20% as an accelerated bonus for Bob's coming in. And down here, they show you if Bob had an order of 200 PV, you'd get $40 on Bob for coming in. Let's say Bob comes in and Bob signs up Hannah. Hannah's first 60 days in the business, whatever she orders for the first 60 days, Bob would get 20%, you would get 10%. Hannah now signs up Grandma Ruth. Grandma Ruth's first 60 days in the business, Hannah would get 20%. Bob would get 10, you would get 5. This only lasts for the first 60 days of the person coming in. After the 60 days, it goes into a long-term unilevel payout. We'll get to that. But this Fast Start bonus, as I mentioned to you, Jeff, when I first started, I started getting all these checks every Thursday, did not understand this bonus at all. Some checks were 100, some were 400, I think one was 600, one was 200. And I started stacking them on the end of my desk. And then after about 12 weeks, my upline, Darren, came over, saw those checks. He said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I think I'm getting, I don't think I'm supposed to get paid this money. He goes, yeah, that's your Fast Start bonus. You signed up a guy in China and he went and signed up people and they went and signed up people. And this is all those checks together coming in, giving you what's called the Fast Start bonus. And every Thursday, this is the one bonus that's paid weekly. It's every Thursday. And this will continue forever in doTERRA. I mean, after you've been in the company for 10 years, if you sign somebody up, their first 60 days, it starts again. So you're constantly getting Fast Start bonuses. That's the first way you get paid. Now, the second way you get paid is called the Power of 3. The Power of 3 bonus is significant because it shows you how this thing really can expand in a massive way. So let's say, for example, you're this green guy right here. You go out, and again, to qualify for all these bonuses, you personally have to have your 100 PV order in at all times. That's what allows you to participate in all the bonus incentives. The Power of 3 says that, let's say, Jeff, you went out and you sign up 3 people in doTERRA. You get them on the LRP of 100 PV, by the way. doTERRA gives you a little $50 bonus a month saying, "Hey, Jeff, thank you. Great job. You got people, you introduced them to the product. They've signed up. They're going." Now, I'm not going to worry about the 600 team volume right now because it becomes almost insignificant. But I'll just briefly say, between you and these people, if everybody only ordered 100, that'd only be 400 PV. You have to have 600. The reason why I don't go into depth on it is because the average order in doTERRA is about 240 PV. Even though a person only has to order 100 PV, typically this takes care of itself. Occasionally, if you were going to miss a bonus of 1,500, you'd probably come in and put a $20 order in for somebody to qualify for the bonus. And I'll tell you more about that later. But basically, for right now, you go out and get 3 people signed up. doTERRA gives you a $50 a month bonus. You go out and teach these people, hey, go find 3 people each that can benefit from the products that, might see also the vision of the company, the business, or whatever. Go out and sign up 3 people. They do. You're now getting a bonus of about 250. Now, 3 of them have to be ordered with the 100 PV. But if you have additional people that get in the company but do not have an order of 100, that still counts in this overall 600 volume.
Okay.
Okay. that still adds, but you need 3 of them to be on the 100 PV side of it. You now teach these people to do the same thing, and you're getting a check of 1,500 PV. So when people say, so hold on, I got to go out and get 27 people. Let's see. Yeah, 27. I say, no, you get 3 and just teach those 3 how to do it. And that is the power, honestly, that I found, Jeff, that when you're doing the business of doTERRA, if you just get in and you teach people how to do this, this starts to expand automatically. Honestly, it just starts to blow up. Because you've trained them how to do it. Now they're doing it. So duplication, the ability to duplicate, is super important because it allows this to expand way beyond what you need to do yourself. Now, here's the cool part.
Is this ongoing?
You get this just for the, what's that?
This is ongoing?
Ongoing every month.
Okay.
And here's the cool part. You can do this as many times as you want. So when I first did this the first time, it has to play out all the way through to the 3rd level here. Mm-hmm. But then if you have 3 more people, you can do it again. So every month I have a couple of these that play out to the 1,500 level because I've got leaders. And so usually, in fact, I think I get this usually 2.5 times now, I think. And this is an ongoing bonus just for having this in place. Now, the nice part is this fills in pretty fast. And when it does, you start participating in that bonus, and it's every month. So there's times that on just this power, just the Power of 3 bonus alone, just by itself, I'll get like 33,250 because I've done it twice. And then I think up to the 2nd level of the 3rd one. That just comes in every month. That's separate. So the Fast Start bonus is weekly. The rest of these bonuses are every month, and they're usually paid out on the 15th of every month, directly deposited into your account.
Okay.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Where the 600 volume comes into play is between the green guy and these blue guys has to add up to 6, or one of these blue guys and his 3 have to add up to 6. This usually takes care of itself. I don't worry too much. But let's say, for example, I saw, and by the way, your back office tracks all this. So you can see, oh, I'm missing, you might say, oh, I'm missing, maybe this guy right here is missing 20 PV from his order, and this would complete your 1,500. There's times where I'll go in, get permission from this guy to buy him a bottle of lemon and a lip chap, and he give it to him as a gift so that I can get my 1,500 bonus. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to let one little thread break the chain. But usually it gets so big that doesn't happen very often. But at the beginning, when you're building it, maybe one person, you can go in and add a little volume. You'd pay $20 to get $1,500.
I'd do that every day.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. This is called the Power of 3 bonus. And again, you can replicate this as many times as you want. I mean, you could technically do this 4 times and be getting $6,000 a month just by doing this if you wanted to. But if you start to build it, it will start to fill in naturally. Okay, the 3rd way you get paid, this is the big, grand master way that most of your money comes. Now, you remember at the beginning, and up here they have the Fast Start bonus paid weekly. You remember at the beginning, you received, it says right here, paid on new enrollee volume for the first 60 days. And then we talked about what happens after the 60 days.
Yeah.
This is what happens after the 60 days. There are 12 ranks in doTERRA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You'll notice almost all the ranks, you have to have monthly volume, personal volume. You have to put in your $100 PV order to qualify for all the bonuses. And that's almost universal across the whole thing. The difference in ranks depend on how many teams you have and how big that team is. So, for example, I'm going to take silver. Silver, you'd have to have your 100 PV in order of your own. And it says right here, qualified legs. You have 3 qualified legs, and they have to be in separate teams, right? Not underneath each other, but separate teams.
Okay.
3 teams have to be what's called an elite. Now, you might ask yourself, what is an elite? Go over here. Elite is when the entire team has 3,000 points, 3,000 PV. Let's just call it $3,000.
Yeah.
So you remember when I signed up Jimmy Chan, Jimmy went and signed up 6 people. They went and signed up 3 people. And that was an organization of 20. The next month it was 40, 80. That all counts as 1 qualified leg. So you can imagine to get to 3,000 volume, it isn't super hard because it starts to expand. So everybody underneath Jimmy is considered volume. So when he gets to 3,000 and 2 other teams, when I have 3 teams that each have a total organizational volume of 3,000, I am what's called a silver.
Okay.
Once I'm a silver, you'll notice something. I get paid 7 levels deep. And you'll notice it's the first time in this chain of ranks, here you get paid 5 levels deep, then 6 levels, and still 6 levels here. But when you get to silver, you get paid as deep as everybody else in the entire company. Now, let me explain this. Does it make sense? And I asked you this before, but I'll ask you again. Do you think you'll have more people on a level 1 or a level 7?
Level 7.
Level 7, right? Because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, most companies flip this around and pay 7% on level 1, which is your least amount of people. doTERRA pays the largest amount of commission on your biggest group of people, because you might have 4 people on your level 1. You might have 20 people on your level 2. 80 people on your level 3 gets bigger and bigger. But by the time you get down to level 7, eventually you'll have thousands and thousands of people that are down there that you're getting paid 7% on every one of those orders that go through. On your level 6, you get paid 6. Level 5, you get 6%. Your level 1, you get paid the least, but there are other bonuses that go along with that will make sense. But anyway, long story short, you get paid 7 levels deep. And because of what's called right here dynamic compression, if there's anybody in this chain that is not ordering, it will keep going down, 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 even potentially into your 25th, 30th level, to make sure you always get paid 7 levels deep. doTERRA never keeps that money. Other companies call it a broken chain. When they have a broken chain, they don't pay you. doTERRA always, always, always pays you that money. So sometimes on my commission report, I'll see, oh, wow, I got paid on my 30th level. Wow, that's cool. So it'll keep going down as far as it needs to. Now, when you're early in doTERRA, of course, those levels haven't got real deep, but pretty soon over time, they really start going down into the depths of people you'll never know. Now, I'm going to jump to platinum, okay? It's easiest to explain. Now, gold is when you still have 3 levels. You'll notice at silver, gold, and platinum, you can still have 3 teams, and just the size of the team is what makes you a gold and platinum. For example, once you're a silver, when I became a silver for the first time, so I had 3 teams that were elite. But then I immediately looked over here at platinum and I said, so platinum is when I have 3 silvers. So these 3 leaders of mine that were elite, once each one of those leaders becomes silver, does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm all of a sudden a platinum. And then I looked over here to diamond and I said, wow, so, okay, diamond is when I have 4 silvers underneath me. So here was my aha moment. I became silver in like 2 or 3 months. And I was like, okay, I just became a silver. So then I looked at diamond and I saw that's 4 silver. So I said, I'm a silver. So if I teach 4 people to do what I just did in 2 or 3 months, I'm a diamond in this company already. And to me, that was the aha moment that I thought, I can do this. I know I can do this, because I just thought, if I did this myself in 2 or 3 months, I can teach 4 people to do the same thing. Well, I did. And in 4 months, I became a diamond. Now you'll notice at diamond, you have 4 teams. Now to go all the way in doTERRA, in the highest rank, it's called Presidential Diamond. At Presidential Diamond, you have 6 platinum. So try to think through that. So a platinum is when you have 3 silvers. So when you have 6 teams that each have 3 silvers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd be Presidential Diamond.
Okay.
So the difference in rank really has to do with, again, you'll always order your 100 PV to qualify. The rest of it has to do with the number of teams and the size of the team.
Okay.
So I was always thinking, I just need 6 awesome teams to go platinum and help them build, and I'm a Presidential Diamond in this company. So this is the bulk. This is the one. These commissions add up to crazy, crazy, crazy amounts of money because you're getting a little bit off of each one. Now, here's the beauty to it. People aren't paying more by you signing them up. When you sign up somebody, it's kind of like going to Costco. In Costco, you buy a membership card and now people can buy wholesale, right? When you sign up people in doTERRA, they can now buy wholesale. You're doing them a favor. And what doTERRA does, instead of putting commercials out and spending 50% of all their revenue on commercials, they pay their distributors for sharing it person to person. And so that's why they have the money to pay these kind of monies, is because they're paying out what they would pay if they were advertising online or commercials or whatever. They're just taking the same amount of money. People aren't paying any more for being underneath you. In fact, they're paying less because you got them in and it's a wholesale price. Now, doTERRA never competes against its distributors. The only way you can buy doTERRA is wholesale. So you'll never see this like in Walmart or Costco or whatever. Every person that's in doTERRA is always underneath somebody in a structure, even if they don't know it. Even if you were to call a doTERRA and say, hey, I heard about your company, I want to sign up. That person would somewhere be signed up under somebody somewhere. They may not know them because they may not care, but they would be signed up. Corporate does not compete. It's a wholesale company. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
So how does that work with your legs if it's someone that just wants to buy, but they're not going to go sign anyone up?
So let's say you had somebody, a friend that wants to use like frankincense, but they don't want to be a builder, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could just put them underneath somebody for volume only. So you might take one of your big leaders and say, hey, I'm going to throw Jack underneath you. He's a buddy of mine from college that just wants to order product, but I thought you could use the volume under your leg.
Okay.
So here's the interesting part. When I built doTERRA, you have 2 kinds of people. You have, number one, every human being on the planet could benefit from the products in doTERRA. They're good. They have something for everybody. So everybody is a potential product user. And doTERRA's retention is 65 to 70%. So once somebody starts using it, they always use it. I mean, you'll find that you'll sign up people that will use the product, and 12 years later, they're still ordering product every single month because they absolutely love the products, and they're not even doing the business at all. But so everybody's a potential product user, but the people I'm looking for are business builders, because I already know everybody will love the product. And I already know everybody is a potential product user. And you will have some people that don't want to build the business, that just want to order the product. And that's totally okay. That's totally great. And they wouldn't even need to do the 100 PV because they're not after building the business. But I'm always just looking for business builders, to be honest with you. I've never focused on just finding customers, because those naturally will just fill in over time. I've always built the business just looking for builders because, again, I know for every builder I get, there'll be 10 people that probably come in on the product, but I'm looking for builders, and the rest of it will just be natural.
Okay.
So the fourth way you get paid is called a leadership bonus. So you'll notice down here, Jeff, that there's something called a leadership performance pool. So doTERRA takes, if you're a silver, gold, and platinum, doTERRA takes 2% of the total commissionable volume in the world, and you get a share of profitability, a share of the company, a share of the profitability of the company for that month. Now, some people have asked me, well, Kenny, doesn't that get pretty diluted because more and more silvers get created, more and more golds and platinum? And I say, not so much, because yes, there are more silvers every month, but the company is also growing every month.
Right.
So it's kind of proportionally, yeah, there's more silvers in the pie, but the pie is now bigger. So generally speaking, that share of silver might add up only to about 150 for the month, that one bonus. Gold might be 750 because it's 5 pieces of the pie, and platinum might be 1,500 roughly for that one bonus. When you become a diamond, blue diamond and presidential diamond, they take another 1% of the whole commissionable worldwide volume, and you share in another pool of money based on those rankings. Now, this gets pretty significant. Typically, the diamond bonus every month, if you get a share of that, is about $3,000 or $4,000 a month, just the one bonus. The blue diamond bonus is usually about $10,000 to $12,000 every single month for tapping into that. Presidential diamond bonus is about $25,000 every month for tapping into that bonus. That's how much it kind of adds up to be.
Okay.
That's the fourth way you get paid. Now, based on those 4 areas of what you get paid, now this is an old slide, but this is what it amounts to typically. If you took all the silvers in doTERRA, and there's probably, thousands and thousands and thousands of silvers in the world. We're open in 125 countries. And this is an old slide, so I'll give you the new data roughly. The average silver, if you took all the thousands of silvers in doTERRA, the average one is probably netting with all those bonuses about $28,000 now per year. Okay. Some people do doTERRA on the side. Some people, do it just to make a car payment or a house payment. A person can do doTERRA in whatever way, big or small, that they want for their purposes. But if a person really wants to go after it, make it a focus, it can be huge. So the average gold, there's probably thousands of golds in the world, by the way. That average is about $60,000 now. So the average gold of all the golds together, some that make a little bit less, some that make more. And usually the longer you're in the company, it gets bigger and bigger, right? So some of the bigger golds probably could make as high as $80,000 a month because they've been in so long. But the average gold makes about $60,000. The average platinum in doTERRA makes about $120,000 now. The average diamond, so of the diamonds, I bet you there's probably 800 diamonds, almost 1,000 diamonds in the world. Maybe 1,000 by now, actually. The average diamond makes about $220,000, about $250,000 a year, residual income. That the 15th of every month, if you broke that down, monthly, that's about just under 20 grand, or actually, almost $20,000 a month at that point.
Yeah. Coming
just deposited into your account. Once you become a blue diamond, the average blue diamond, that's still about the same as about 460, almost $500,000 a year annual, divided by 12 comes into your account every month. And the presidential diamond, the average presidential diamond, there's probably 120 blue diamonds and probably 50 to 70 probably presidential diamonds. And the average presidential diamond, if you took all
50 to 70 presidentials, and you took the average of those checks, it's about 1.32 million now per year.
About 100 grand a month. 100 grand a month. These numbers are real. When I saw these kind of numbers when I first started, I was like, no way. How's that even possible? That's crazy. But keep in mind,
when you're sharing doTERRA and it starts to expand worldwide or even nationally, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, when I first started, and I know I told you this story already, Jeff, but I'll tell you again. When I first started in doTERRA, I remember my upline, Darren Gates, that you'll meet this next week. He would be telling me he'd say, yeah, hey, last month, 400 people joined my team. And I'm like, you signed up 400 people? 400 people? He goes, no, I didn't sign them up. But somewhere in the depths of my organization, 400 people came under my organization last month. And I'm like, wow. He goes, don't worry, Kenny. That will happen to you very quickly. And I'm like, I can't even imagine, because at the time I didn't even, I was starting with one person. Well, now today, almost every month I have about, I think somewhere between 3,500 to 5,000 people join my organization every month, somewhere in the world. And I usually don't know any of them.
and it just happens. And so when this thing starts to grow and expand,
It really gets very powerful. I'll say the magic to doTERRA is that they have a company that is really built on solid principles. They're really a unbelievable company, very giving company, super humanitarian based company. They help build these communities and farmers and crops and supply jobs all over the world. And they come in and they build hospitals and they build schools, and they're just very, very, very giving company. And I think because the company is built on solid principles, they grow. They're blessed, and they prosper, and they continue to grow. The second reason why these numbers are so big and the opportunity is so big is because the products are really good. doTERRA goes all over the world to find the very best products. I mean, they go to Somalia to get frankincense. They go to Australia to get peppermint, lime from Brazil, roses from Bulgaria. They go all over the world and extract the very, very best products out of the plants, the oils. And the oils are very, very powerful. Now, here's the interesting part. Oils have existed for thousands of years when you think about it. And we've heard about frankincense since biblical times, and it was valuable back then. doTERRA came in 2008 and just really slipped in the market during a tough time in the United States when everything else was crashing from a recession. doTERRA came in and filled a gap of people who didn't want to take prescription drugs for everything. Now, doTERRA is not anti-Western medicine. In fact, if I had strep throat, I'd go take an antibiotic, of course. But doTERRA came in and provided a very natural solution for a lot of things. And they really slipped in there at a perfect time. And because they go after the highest quality of products, people absolutely love doTERRA products. And once they start using them, they never stop. And so this thing just expands and expands and expands because people love, love, love the product. Now, interesting notation, statistic, 89% of all of doTERRA are only product consumers. That's it, 89%. So out of every 10 people in doTERRA, usually only one of 10 do the business. But when you have a strong company with fundamental values, when you have a really, really good product, the people who decide to do it as a business, it can be huge because it grows, and it grows naturally. You'll find that everybody you share the product with, whether they do the business or not, will probably forever stay on the product because they love them. doTERRA has probably 250 products. They've got things for protein drinks. They've got oils for almost anything you can think of. They have everyday living products. They have skincare stuff. You name it, they probably have something in oil for that. In fact, I think there's a shirt that says we have an oil for that, because pretty much everything you can imagine, like for digestion or skin irritations or a burn or a cut or whatever, they have an oil or a product that will help accommodate that. Now, all their stuff is natural. When you think about it, how many people die of prescription drugs every year? A lot, right?
Right.
doTERRA's been around for 15 years. I've never, ever heard of anybody dying from using a natural product. It's from plants. Now, prescription drugs are actually plant-based too. I don't know if people recognize that. Prescription drugs usually have that plant, but then they add synthetics in there to cheapen it, weaken it, these kind of things. And people have allergic reactions to usually the synthetic composition of that. doTERRA extracts the oil from the plant directly. It's very natural. It's very powerful. And it's powerful, safe, and no side effects. Unless somebody has a irritation to a plant or something, which can happen, but I've never heard of any death or anything like that because it's natural. So those 4 ways are the ways you get paid. Now, I say there's a 5th way, and this is on top of this money, but there is a 5th way that people can get paid in doTERRA, and it's called the Founders Club. When people are part of a new region or a new market, like doTERRA is going to be opening Indonesia and Vietnam, doTERRA gives an extra bonus on top of that money I just showed you. They give one extra bonus to what's called a Founders Club. So let's say doTERRA opened up Indonesia, and they said the first 25 people that hit the rank of a gold in Indonesia, we're going to give them a piece forever of the growth of that country. So doTERRA takes 1% of the country's marketable commissionable volume, and those first 25 pioneers of that country get an extra bonus for being a pioneer. Now, a lot of the biggest leaders in doTERRA are not founders of any country, but when I first came into doTERRA, I thought, man, that would be so nice to have a founder's bonus of some country. Well, the United States Founders Club was already full. I think there were 25 positions, and every February for the previous year's commission, every January, they would get a check for being a founder of that country. Well, I remember the founders of the US, when I first came in, I think their first check, they said, was about $3,000. Then it was $6,000. And as the United States started to double every year in growth, the founders were getting bigger and bigger checks. So today, the founders of the United States receive a bonus check on top of that other money of about $300,000 to $500,000 a year for being a founder of that region. Wow. Well, when I came in, I thought, I want to be a founder somewhere. This sounds good. So I saw that Europe was still available for founders positions. So I went and found 3 leaders in Europe to become a gold in that country or that region, so that I could become a founder. And I think the last year, our check for all of Europe was like $73,000 for the year. That was just an extra check, their way of saying thank you for being one of the early pioneers of a new region. There are new regions opening up all the time, and so you can still participate in that if you have a desire. So you have to be gold for 3 months in a row to get that, and maintain gold or above for the rest of the year, at least 10 out of 12 months. And that becomes pretty easy if you're growing anyway in that region. One thing I'll explain on this, Jeff, that if you're recording this, might be just good for you to know. People are always super surprised on the retention of doTERRA. They always say, how do they maintain where most network marketing companies have a retention of about 5 to 10%? And a lot of people will ask, how does doTERRA retain 65 to 70%? Well, first of all, they focus on product. Most companies are focused on smoke and mirrors and a story. doTERRA is focused on product. They always have been. Their focus is delivering the highest quality essential oil in the world. And they are now recognized quite universally as the #1 essential oil company in the entire world. They're massive. They're big. Over $2 billion in sales. And they expect that to grow to $7 billion in the next 6 years by 2030. But what really helps people to stay as loyal customers, I should say, they have something called a loyalty rewards program. It's kind of similar to what you'd call maybe a Delta Sky Miles. Once you have been ordering product with your $100 product, a 100 TV order, I should say, every month, after 1 to 3, or from the first month to the third month, you get 10% back on everything you order right from the beginning. If you've been a customer for 4 to 6 months, 15%, 7 to 9 months, you get 20%. And then after 13 months, they top it out. Every order you put in, you get 30% back of everything you buy in points that you can redeem for free product. So people never want to lose their points. And so sometimes you'll get up to like hundreds and 1,000 points, and it's a way of redeeming product. You can redeem that product for yourself, or you can use it as gifts for somebody, or whatever you want to do. But people love what's called the LRP program. I think that's a big part of doTERRA. I think, and if you order it on the 15th or sooner of every month, they give you the free product of the month if you happen to put in a 125 point order. So they kind of incentivize you to, to experiment and to use the products consistently. So something that I tell people all the time, this will help you a lot, is when people sign up for doTERRA, I always sign them up on the LRP program. And this is why. There's 3 ways you can order doTERRA. You can buy retail, which no one should ever do, because you're going to pay 25% more for everything. You can buy wholesale, which is better. You get a discount of everything. But the way that I always sign people up is wholesale plus points. So whenever I sign up anybody like you yesterday, Jeff, I automatically send you up for LRP, because why would I not give you the opportunity to earn points? A person can stop using products anytime, but I wanted you to get points from day one so that you can eventually apply that to your future orders. So I can honestly say, now sometimes I'll talk to people and they say, oh yeah, I only get people on LRP maybe 50% of the time. I'm like, why? Why would you not give people points from day one? So I would highly suggest, whenever you sign somebody up, always get them on LRP for the next month, because this is what's going to happen. They can always stop.
Yeah.
But what happens is they start using it. They never stop. They stay on it forever. And so I just automatically get them on it, because I already know what's going to happen, because it is now over 15 years to have a retention of 65 to 70% is pretty unheard of, pretty uncommon. So that's the commission in a nutshell.